All right, Chris Steele, and joined with me again is Cameron Dunn for Live Sail Die. We're here at the conclusion of day 3 of the Prada Cup Finals, and interesting day out there, Cam. It was sort of lighter breezes to start with from the southwest, and then build a little bit for the second race, and one race apiece for the two teams today. The Brits are on the scoreboard. What did you make of it?
Oh, how good was it? 1-1. Finally, we've got a real good contest on our hand. We always knew that that INEOS Team UK could get ahead. If they got ahead off the start line at that first cross, they could win a race, and they showed us just that. So, I'm really excited. We saw some really good racing today, some great match racing in the first pre-start. I thought an absolutely phenomenal job by Luna Rossa at closing them out at the windward end. Ben was aggressive. He felt like he needed to be aggressive. Probably was a little bit too aggressive, which really cost them the race at the end of the day. And then, but he turned it around, as we know Ben does. In the next race, he finally, as I know you've been going on about a lot, rightly so, he led back and got a really nice start in a lefty, got the first cross and dominated. So, yeah, really awesome.
Yeah, so I just want to touch on the whole lead back sort of conversation. Obviously, building up to today, Luna Rossa's led back in every start, and they've won every start. Obviously, when the conditions are up, I can understand why you'd want to push, but particularly today in that lighter breezes, I thought the lead back was everything. And in race 1, obviously Luna Rossa coming in from port, they get to pick the time to come back, and the Brits, sort of sailed past them, and instead of tacking early and putting yourself in a position where you've got more time to kill, you can push strong, they kind of extended for maybe 10 seconds before they tacked. And I think you heard Joel Scott's voice say shortly after they tacked that they only had 10 seconds to kill. And when you're that far out from the start, 50 seconds to go and you've only got 10 to kill, it's very difficult to push aggressively because you've got to drag the game back to the start before you can do everything or anything at all. And we saw it wasn't until the last 5-10 seconds when the Brits were able to engage with the Italians, but by then the options had already been shut down. And so looking ahead into race 2, I was adamant the Brits had to try and lead back in the lighter airs, and they did do that. And they took the initiative, and credit to them, they won the start. And I think a lot of that comes back to when you lead back, obviously you've got, you're sailing towards the start line, but your opponent's directly behind you. And so it's very easy to get disorientated with where you are on the course. You're looking forwards at where you're going. You've got a computer in front of you, I'm sure, which is giving you all the information. But ultimately, what you're worried about is behind you. And so it's very difficult to accurately drive the boat and set yourself up because you don't know where your opponent is, or you're at least a second or two behind. And so I think that's probably why the teams have maybe tended to lean on the side of wanting to push, because obviously when you're pushing, you've got your opponent in front of you and the line, so you can see everything right in front of you. Whereas when you're leading, you like I said, you're a bit disorientated with what's going on. So, I mean, the Brits, to their credit, took the initiative. It's a difficult thing to do, but they executed it well. They finally won a start, and then they were able to control the race. But, as we saw, the race was far from over at that point. They needed to execute everything well, and I think they did do that around the track.
Yeah, I think that's a really good analysis, that they're pushing back, as we saw with Ben trying to do in their first race. He left so little error. He only had one real shot at it, and by the time they got to the line, it wasn't enough. I thought, Luna Rossa did a better job of pushing in the second race, where they actually had a couple of goes of trying to fake Ben out a little bit. But I think the lefty coming in at the end made that pin end that little bit favoured, where they were too strong off the line for them. But yeah, agree. Like we've talked about before, it's amazing how the boat in front always looks faster. INEOS looked like a good boat in the second race. That 12-13 knots of wind, I think they are very even, and the boat out in front is very, very dominant. If they don't make a mistake, it's a really, really hard race. We saw Luna Rossa make a nice gain up the last beat of that last race to put the pressure back on INEOS, but INEOS didn't crack under it. They sailed smooth, didn't make mistakes, and got a nice, comfortable, if only 15-second win.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the performance of the boats, particularly in those conditions. And, we saw INEOS get in front, and then it was the question of, are they going to be able to hold the lead and control the race? And I thought one thing they did really well was they picked their moments, and when they wanted to engage with the opponent behind them, and when they took the opportunity to split, usually being to give yourself one less manoeuvre, because that's somewhere where you're going to make a bit of a gain. So obviously the second race, that first sort of top mark, the Brits were coming in from the left and the Italians are on the right. The Brits were on the lay line, the Italians weren't, and it all came down to that cross. If the Brits could get in front or stay in front at the cross and get in front cleanly, with one less manoeuvre, they were always going to go around that top mark in sync with their opponent with a slight advantage. And then on the downwind, it was just about trying to, again, make those decisions. Do we want to engage and try and cover and protect our lead, or do we want to split, take less manoeuvres, and they had to manage that risk a little bit. It wasn't, we've seen the Italians have constantly basically match raced the whole time when they've been in front, and they've obviously got the speed and the manoeuvres to do that, but it wasn't that simple for the Brits. They weren't slow, but you could very clearly see that they weren't entirely comfortable getting into tacking duels and jibing duels and whatnot.
Yeah, what I was really impressed about was when Luna Rossa are in front, they've got that ability to sail that high mode, which I don't think INEOS has, and we saw it against American Magic as well. They're very strong. When they've got a boat in their line, like round the bottom gate, for instance, in that race, they can sail that high mode and really put the pressure on the boat behind. And I don't think that's necessarily a mode that INEOS has got, and certainly not in the lighter air. So that really gives them an extra boost. In that second race, INEOS looked to me like they just right, we're going to sail as loose as we can here, sail our shifts and not get too engaged, as you say. It worked for them, but it does end up keeping the race closer at times because they're not going to get every shift right. But, really exciting, to see that finally, Ben came to the party, nailed it on the start, got out there and won a race, and hey, you still wouldn't be betting against them doing a few more of them in the next coming days.
No, I mean, it was nice to see. We've talked about the start, obviously, but that was the first box ticked. From there, they needed to be squeaky clean around the racetrack, and they did that. So one race apiece today. Looking forward to tomorrow. Obviously, another day on the water. Luna Rossa is just 2 races now away from winning the Prada Cup Final. We've got 2 races scheduled tomorrow. Are you expecting them to be able to get it done, or is this the start of the British comeback?
Well, it's going to be a lightish forecast again tomorrow. Even lighter than today. Unfortunately, that does not play into INEOS's hands. They've still got a really, really big uphill battle. If I was going to have to bet my house on it, I'd still be going the Italian way at this stage.
Nice. All right, well, once again, on behalf of Cam and I and everyone at Live Sail Die, big thanks to all our sponsors and supporters for allowing us to bring you guys this coverage. And we'll be back here again tomorrow to cover the Sunday racing and see if we've got a winner crown by tomorrow, or if it's going to heat up and the British are going to forge a comeback. So thanks to everyone.
Cheers everyone.